Welcome to COOP's new garage gym tour. We've done a tour of this garage gym, but as you'll see, there is probably more updates than has been in just about any other garage gym tour that we've done. It is absolutely packed. I'll tell you why as we walk through it, but I want to show you what I've been up to. Come on in. One thing I always talk about is you want your gym to reflect the type of training you're doing. If you got a bunch of equipment that just sits there, like, get rid of it. You don't need it. Just because it seems cool online doesn't mean you should have it. My gym is like that. So there's constantly stuff coming in and out, and I'm constantly trying new stuff. Part of that is because I'm testing it, but also because my training has changed a lot. As you can probably tell, maybe you can't. Why'd you zoom in? You covered the screen already.
You lift, bro?
I am trying to put on some muscle. So most of my training lately has been more hypertrophy focused. It's bodybuilding type stuff, isolation movements, lots of machines. So this has gone from basically just being to try to get as strong as humanly possible to trying to get as big as humanly possible. I didn't get very strong, probably not gonna get very big, but I'm gonna try my hardest.
Look at the weak little baby.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the floor. Floor hasn't changed. It's the Eleiko gym tiles. They're very good. Like, eventually I'm gonna build another gym. I was gonna build a shop, it's why I had all these machines, but after getting quotes on how to build a shop in my backyard, due to the layout of the backyard, it's gonna be freaking expensive, so I'm probably going to just move and either have a shop built or just find a house that already has a big shop, because I'm busting out of the seams in here. But if I was to do it again, I don't know if I'd get tiles. I think I'd just get solid flooring. Reason being is because it's really nice to move stuff. I'm constantly moving stuff in and out, and the seams are just big enough that, say like a C2 row or something, it just like gets annoying moving benches around. Not a huge deal. I really like them, but if I was to do it again, I'd probably just do rolled flooring. Okay, now we'll start back here. This is kind of the magnum opus of the gym. This is where most of the training happens. It's not like you can go online and just say, I want this. This is a custom build from all sorts of companies. We've got Rogue Fitness, Frey Fitness, Rep Fitness, PRX, Bolt Fitness. I got some Ghost stuff. I got Sorenex. There's Stray Dog, there's Darko, there's Oak Club. It has everything. The basic structure is 2 flanking storage racks, which, as you can notice, I sold my Sorenex CMBs. It's now just a crap storage until I remove it so I can have more room. No, so I can fit more equipment. So that's in process right now, but 2 flanked, and then like the middle section, which is how many attachments and movements and training can I maximize in a squat rack? Because like right now you can see it's a 8-post rack, not including all the flanking stuff, but it doesn't take up a lot of space. So I'll start in the back and move forward. In the back are lots of barbells. How often do I use these barbells back here? Well, what do you think? Not very much, because they're back there. If you got a bunch of equipment that just sits there, like, get rid of it. You don't need it. My gym is like that. They kind of suck to get out of the way. So they're kind of just storage for looks, and if I want to use like a unique bar, but most of the bars that I use that are basically stored up are in the other part of the gym. So then I have the Rogue Rhino. The Rogue Rhino is my favorite piece that Rogue's ever come out with. I use this all the freaking time. Also, you'll notice there's lots of like little modifications. I don't just do this for a job. I freaking love this thing. So I'm constantly out here, to the chagrin of my wife and kids, just tinkering. And so like this, for instance, I took off the regular handle. I got these from Rogue, and they're like a knurled handle. Really, they're used for pull-ups, but I added them here for looks, because who doesn't need knurling when you're unracking the Rhino? Everybody does. I will say, by far, out of everything I've added to this gym in the past like 5 years, my favorite addition, this. Not because it's very well done. This thing itself is just okay, but the addition of a Smith machine, I use all the time. I'm surprised just how often I use it, but this is a Smith machine attachment from Bolt Fitness. The attachment itself is okay. It's a 55-pound bar. It's not offset weighted. It's pretty heavy start weight, but I haven't found like a movement. Maybe if I did like a 1-arm upright movement or something, maybe then it'd be too heavy starting weight. But generally it's good weight. The bar itself, not great knurling, but actually the bearings that's on is pretty smooth. It's actually offset on one side where this side feels a little bit heavier, but generally it works pretty good. I just really like a Smith machine. So I'm hoping a lot of companies come out with more Smith machine attachments so I can replace this one with one that's just a little bit more creme de la gym with better knurling. But I will say, if you don't have a Smith machine in your garage, get a Smith machine. A Smith machine attachment, whatever, it's a game changer. Seriously, out of everything I've added, I freaking love this thing. These are the PRX Halo arms. These are their adjustable jammer arms that has all the controversy around them, which it seems like they kind of fixed the issues. I have them attached to the very top with some Rohrman handles. Rohrman strength handles, definitely the best jammer arm handles. This whole thing, I like this. This really matters if you don't have machines. I now have machines, so I'm using this less. There is a way, I think, there's a world where a jammer arm will come out and it will be as good as most machines. It's not there yet. This is the best one. Let's just say, I've talked to some people, I think there's gonna be some really, really good options forthcoming that kind of mimic machines, kind of does what this does. It's just, I think it'll be superior. But if I had a garage gym and I wanted to mimic machines, this is the best option right now. Over here, I have my Eleiko dumbbells. They're the Evo dumbbells. Honestly, I don't use these a ton. I use them some, depends on the movement, but the ones that I use the most for dumbbells are Pep & Fast series adjustable dumbbells. By far the best adjustable dumbbells. I have them on my custom stand. If you want to see how I built it, you can go to my Instagram at HomeGymCoop. But this is just an amazing dumbbell. The knurling is better than the Eleikos. It's a little bit smaller handle, which I feel works for more movements, especially like row movements. Oh, it's just so good. And then I do have the new kettlebell attachment, which he just sent, which is very nice as well. So you can basically do kettlebell with the plates that are on there. A couple attachments I really like lately. Pritchett pad, I use it every back day. I'll use it with a landmine, with a Rogue shorty bar, and then I'll use it with one of their V attachments. Makes way more sense for most people for T-bar rows. One of the problems with it is it's pretty awkward and hard to store. The best storage option I've found is basically just an upright and stick into the upright, works well. Then one of my favorite attachments Rogue released recently, very similar to Pritchett pad and how much I like it, is the Rogue multi-roller. Much better, like light years better than what the hip thruster pad is. The hip thruster pad sucks. I don't even know why I still have it, because it just takes up space. I don't use it. If you got a bunch of equipment that just sits there, like, get rid of it. You don't need it.
My gym is like that.
Okay, moving on. You'll see my favorite bench, talk about this all the time, is the Iron Master bench. There's actually a prototype part on this, which I won't tell you what it is, but this is by far the best bench on the market, my favorite. I actually like it so much, and I hate rolling it on the tiles because the wheels really suck. You'll actually find I have another one in the one-car garage. It's that good. I have a flat bench here. I don't even use the flat bench anymore. The Rogue Monster flat bench, I don't even use it.
Get rid of it.
I have the Titan Ronin Plyo Box platform. It's a really nice platform. There's a lot of stuff I could put right here, and I'm constantly debating, like, should I get rid of this and put something else here? It's basically my version of the reverse hyper. Also, my kids like to come out and they'll do some plyo stuff, so that's nice to have. Moving over here, this is kind of machine alley. I've tried to pack as many machines as possible in here. You'll notice a theme, and that is Prime. Prime's machines, by far, are some of the best machines on the market. I'm trying to think like competitive. There's some older school stuff. There's some stuff that competes with Prime, but stuff you can get today, generally, the ability to overload the stretch portion of the movement with the plate-loaded pieces is by far the best. These, they take so long to get. It's over a year wait time. It's such a freaking annoyance. I was searching online for a long time for some used machines. I found a lot of 4 different machines. I've got another one in the other garage I'll show you, and that's how I acquired these. There's the arm curl, the preacher arm curl, the leg extension, and then back there is actually a abductor adductor. All really good machines. My favorite by far is the leg extension. The leg extension, it's the best leg extension in the world, in my opinion. The arm curl is really nice too. It just takes up a lot of space, but I'm trying to get bigger biceps, so it's worth spending the space on. The abductor adductor is a stack version. It's very heavy. It's okay. I don't love the movement. Honestly, I may end up selling that and going with a Dynavec gluteator. I think that's the best for glutes. And then this is actually their earlier makings of Stride, before Stride became Prime. This is actually kind of the in-between time. You can notice most Stride typically doesn't have this powder coat, and it is pretty similar to what you can get today for their lying leg curl. It's very well done. If I was gonna buy new, I would buy the combo unit that basically combines both of these into one. I may do that eventually too. All this is usable. The only thing you gotta scoot is your body. So if I wanna get in here, come here, get on this guy, do my leg curls. Come on. Most of the time I have the weight on there, but one thing I found now that you get machines is you start to run out of weight, so I need to bring some more weight from the warehouse. So that's that one. If I come over here, like I have these they're perfectly positioned. If I want to do leg extensions, come in here, dial that guy in. It feels so good. Like it's heaviest at the bottom of the movement where you want. So smooth, honestly hard to describe until you use them, just how smooth they are. And then this one is the arm curl. And the arm curl, man, I mean, it's a lot, it takes up a lot of space and is a lot of money for one movement, but man, it feels so good. So here, fully stretched. Well,
what's going on? I thought it was all optimized.
It's on rollers, you gotta move it. You'll notice it just like clears. It's like, get out of here, chalk bowl. Here. Oh, dude, it just feels so good.
Would you believe 5 years ago you'd have such an emphasis on machines again?
No, I thought machines were stupid. Isn't that funny how it works? Honestly, this is probably how it'll work. I know how I operate. It's like, I'm gonna go to like all the machines. I'm gonna get all the machines. I'm gonna try all of them. There's some stuff in here where it's like, there's really no need to have both of those.
Get rid of it.
But then it'll end up, I'll just refine. By the time I'm 80, I'll probably have like a barbell and plates. And that's like all I use. But for now, it's fun. Over here is my custom made free motion dual cable cross. There's a lot on here. This is just a standard dual cable cross. Just your standard everyday dual cable cross with a lot of extra stuff attached. This is the prime stability pad. Basically, the Cybex Bravo is one of the best designed functional trainers in the world in my mind, but it's not quite as good as the dual cable cross. What makes it so good is it has a stability pad in the middle. I wanted that functionality, so I made it. So basically, this has a very thick steel shroud, bolted this upright to it. It's just a Rogue Monster upright. It's actually what was used on the Rogue Rhino. And then I attached the stability pad. So now I have stability whenever I do like basically chest flies, whenever I do rows, all sorts of things, I have stability. This extends out. It rotates too, so you can go here. Yeah, sorry. This adjusts. Oh man, so nice. I like to store it. Easy as that. So simple. But you'll also notice one thing I'm always trying is how do I increase storage? So like I've got all these gator hooks all over. Oh, this is a sweet piece, by the way. This is the JD Jimmy Equipped tricep extension, fully stainless. The knurling that's on it, oh, his stuff is just, dude, he's making some of the best attachments. These are actually Clevabuilt grenade grips, I think they're called. Very well done as well. But then you'll notice on the backside, I've got all sorts of stuff too. So like Darko shorty bar, Darko long bar with the handles that are on there for lat pull down is really nice. And then on the other side, my most used lat pull down bar is this Mutant Metals Arc with the Mutant Metals handles. And then I got the Rogue knurled handles on there. If you'll notice, it's a 2.5 arc up. I think it's 2.5. 2.5 degree or 5 degree, basically to mimic a Larry Scott bar. The idea is your pinkies get higher, you get a little bit bigger stretch. Is it leading to a lot of increased gains for me? Probably not, but it's nice to have. One that like you guys recommended that I hadn't tried, are these track handles. They're the Track Handle Sport. So they rotate this way, they spin all the way through. I'd like to do a review on these because when I did the cable attachment video, a lot of people commented like, you need to try those, you need to try those. So I tried them. You have to wait for the review. Here is the greatest seated leg curl of all time. I posted a video on this on my personal Instagram, basically stating that, which is a fact, by the way. And the guy said, you know absolutely nothing. The reason I can prove that is because this is not the greatest. Then I asked him, what's the greatest one of all time? He couldn't give me a name. He said, I forgive it was 92 when I was in the gym, and it was this, it did this. He didn't have it's because it doesn't exist. The reason is, this is the best. Let me show you how this works. By the way, you're looking at this and you're like, that looks like a pretty rundown old school leg curl. It's because it is. I'm gonna refurbish it. The reason that this is the best is because of the stretch you get. So most machines don't have stretch at the full range of you can't really get a full range of motion on the ham curl. I will say the cam on this, it's an even cam. So basically the strength curve is the same all throughout the range of motion. Ideal is probably that it's heaviest at the beginning range of the motion. I have basically a mod, I'm gonna fix that once I refurbish this. But this is how you start the movement. Watch this, these handles here, bring it down. You then come in, if you wanna adjust where you are in the seat, watch this. This little is attached to basically a bicycle cord that's a hydraulic pump in the back. Notice the back pad. So see the linkages moving in the back? Is that crazy? You can dial it exactly where you want and then just, oh man. Then lock it in. It's a really cool machine. Basically, it's based on the Flex Fitness ham tractor. Star Trek bought Flex Fitness, took their designs and kind of modernized them. They should have just not touched them because the ham tractor looks better too. Then over here, Prime Fitness single stack. If there's a piece in my gym that I think is superfluous, it's probably this one. Reason being, I can do a lat pull down and low row on my Rhino, and I like it just as much, if not better. I just have a hard time getting rid of it. You don't need it. You know, it's like, I just feel like I'll use it for something someday. Get rid of it. If I wanna use a functional trainer, I'll use a functional trainer. If I wanna do lat pull down, I can do it on the Rhino low row tube. This is the Temple of Gains Multi-Flight. Basically, I really like the Panada Multi-Flight. It does lateral raise and chest fly. Many of the machines that are like that do one of those. Like Atlantis, for instance, they combined it for the Panada, but the Panada is not really even that great. This is basically an updated, more budget-friendly version that I think is actually better. The reason is you can get stretch at the most extreme ranges of motion. If I'm doing, say, lateral raise, I basically take it here, I cross these over, cross this one over, and now I have stretch I have tension at the bottom of the movement. Whereas with dumbbells, you don't. You have tension basically starting here. So you can do a full ROM and then down, and you have tension through the full range. I love this piece. I use this probably 2 to 3 times a week. You can also do rear delts, chest fly. It adjusts up and down very easily, actually. I'm a big fan. Temple of Gains are doing some cool stuff in the budget space. We did their pendulum squat. We did a review on that. I think it's early beginnings for them. I think they'll come out with some good stuff. Over here is kind of attachment city. A lot of stuff on this wall. Lots of attachments. And then over here, I've got another Beyond Power. I've got a Beyond Power bolter over there with all the attachments. This is a second one.
How often does this perfect ab carver get used?
What do you think, bro?
0.
Look at it.
It's pretty dusty.
It is pretty dusty. But yeah, the ab carver doesn't get used. If you got a bunch of equipment that just sits there. You gotta be rude, bro. Do I come to your garage? Tell you? All right, then over here, these are the bars, like specialty bars that I'm pulling out the most often. This is actually a Shorten Rogue bar. I'll use that. This is the Seal Row bar, which I use a lot for bench. I'll use some for seal rows too, but very underrated bar, I think, from Rogue. This is the Gungner curl bar. Oh, the clips on it, the knurling's nice. Then over here, usually this was just for like kids' toys and that sort of thing. It's since become also equipment storage too. So we obviously have the kids' bikes. I have my bikes. I really like to bicycle. I like to bicycle, yes. This is actually my kid hauler. This is an e-bike and everybody's like, oh, you ride an e-bike? Well, I tow 4 freaking kids on it, up hills, both ways, in the snow. So it works really well. Some conditioning equipment, if you notice, the sled is stowed away very conveniently so I can take it out all the time. It's actually not. It'd be really nice if I could just leave it out, but then it gets rained on. So right now it's basically in storage mode until I have a bigger place and then I can do it. This piece though, this is the Prime Incline press. This is what's supposed to be on it. This is kind of a Frankenstein guy here. So this is what's supposed to be on it. It's supposed to be bolted in. This is so heavy, by the way. Like, this is just unnecessary. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Get rid of it. What I did, I replace it with the Iron Master bench. This is one of the funny things. The flat and the incline versions, the presses for the Prime are actually the same. They just add different benches. So I can do flat, I can do incline, and I can even do shoulder press. Let me show you, because somebody was saying like, I don't know how you could do shoulder press on that. So the way that you have to do this, one of the annoying things with Prime, it's kind of surprising they haven't come up with a fix for this. A lot of machines, they have foot levers, so you can press it and basically get the piece up, get the weight up. Very nice feature. For Prime, you kind of got to do a DIY thing with yoga blocks. These are cork yoga blocks. So basically, if I want to do shoulder press, I bring these up, I put these here, put this here. Okay, so now I'm able to start at like the top of a movement. For shoulder press, if you're able to get a little bit lower, it'd probably be a little bit more ideal. What you'll find, at least for me, I can reach almost full lockout. I'm like right there before the handles touch because it does converge. I think ideally, if I could get the seat just a little bit lower, it'd probably be perfect. But for this, I think it's good enough. So the way that you would do this is basically unrack them, come down, and then up. So you can see, if you see at the top of the handles, they're like touching or very close. That's like max range of motion. But for me, for shoulder press, that's like perfect. Here, oh, high tension, because you've got the 3 weight arms, and then up. And then when I get out, I got 100-pound plates on the back basically to prevent it from tipping. It's awesome. Use it for chest press, flat press, shoulder press. I wasn't sure when I ordered, like when I bought this from the used guy, if I was gonna like actually keep this piece because it takes up so much space, but the ability and versatility to do 3 movements on makes it money. And then over here is the glute drive. This is the Nautilus glute drive. This is my favorite, probably, hip thruster. It's got this nice pad here. Get that super tight, set your feet down, and then lock it in. Oh, it feels so good. One other thing I want to show is this storage wall. So a lot of people are trying to think, how can I get stuff off the floor and on the wall out of the way? This is how I do it. This is basically all stuff that we use for the kids pretty much, or like car stuff. So this is the best method I've found. Gladiator strips, there's other companies that make them too. Just I already had a bunch of attachments from Gladiator and they're easily available. So Gladiator strips, the buckets are real nice, and then you just get a bunch of hooks. If you just got a lot of stuff, it's great, but you could also store a bunch of like gym equipment on there.
I thought you had a bunch of Jim Lako stuff.
Well, I do on the way.
Oh.
I have 4 pieces on the way. I also have a pendulum squat on the way.
Where is that gonna go?
I literally don't know. I literally don't. That's the problem.
But like literally, where will it physically go when that
Well, I have it
shipment comes
inside to my house too. Basically what'll happen probably, I have a John Deere room downstairs. I'll probably put some equipment down there and use that for the time being. I mean, I can't just get rid of stuff. Get rid of it. That makes no sense at all. You don't need it. It's a problem. But it's a good problem to have.
Is your wife ever like, Coop, please, it's gotta be enough?
I'm not gonna lie, never.
You had her sign something when you got married?
No, I mean, she knows this is like, it's not like my house is full of stuff. Our house is, I mean, it's a normal house. Gym equipment though, I mean, this is I gotta test and use and all this stuff. This is my livelihood. So I wanna make sure I do a good job and test all the different stuff. So I have no problem. And my wife doesn't either. I married a good one. Highly recommended. Marry a good one. Bad one would be bad. Wise words. The next iteration will just be a completely different gym. Other than that, I mean, it's probably not gonna change a lot until I move, or if I end up building a shop in the back or something like that. Yeah, because it's just, I have no space. Okay, this has been my garage gym tour. If there's anything you saw that you'd like to see specific reviews on, let me know in the comments. There's so much in here that we've never even done any content on, and maybe if you're a good little boy or girl, we'll get to it. The big COOP and garage gym reviews. I've got FedEx showing up, so I gotta go pick something up. We'll see you next time. Peace.